Alright, today guys, we want to talk about the 7 things that can cause loss of signal in your DSTV and other satellite decoders. So everything satellite decoder, that is satellite receiver, which is satellite decoder, 7 things that can cause loss of signal, and then how you can fix them very fast. The ability to dictate what cause loss of signal in a particular decoder in a shorter period of time makes you a good installer. Or even in your homes, even if you are not an installer, I will show you 7 things that you can look out for when you have a loss of signal, probably in your DSTV or your free to air decoder or other decoders. Thank you. Okay. For instance, if I'm the installer, once I get to the customer's house and see something like this, what do I do first? Though there are 7 things we'll be looking at for here. One is the connection, secondly the cable, third the LMB, fourth the disposition, fifth the TP shift, and sixth when there is a change of TP or a particular satellite goes off, and lastly, which is the 7th, is decoder setting. What do I do first? What I would do first is my number 1 here, which is checking the connections. I have to check the decoder and ensure their connections are fine. Like, I have to remove the F connector and then ensure that its connections is very okay, and then put it back. So once I ensure the connections here is okay, the F connector has no rust, and then is tightly fixed at the back of the decoder. So I have to check the decoder. Maybe if I don't want to use satellite meter, or I don't have one, I can check from the decoder. So I'll go to the menu. From the menu, I'll go to the menu. Then from the menu, I will go to setting. Then from setting, I will go to satellite setting. There I will say home network and additional network. I will go to home network and then press OK. No, it usually take a little while most times before the next option appears on your TV, which is this. So on each of these bars, they are empty. If my LMB is good and the wire is good, but there is a shift in this position, like the dish have shifted a little bit from the TP, then I will have a bar. I will have a kind of a good percentage on this one, which is the first one. Are you getting it? then this here will be probably uh, 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 a little here or empty. That is, if the wire is good, the LMB is good, but there is a shift in the dish. Here will be full, and here will be either will have a little here, or here will be empty. So, but in this case now, both of them is empty. So the problem, or what I have to check first, is the cable. The cable, if the cable is good, then I will also check if the LMB is good and the connection of the cable on the LMB is good before I will know what else to do. So I will have to check with my satellite finder. I have to check with my satellite finder to ensure that the readings I am getting from the DSTV decoder is same with what I'm getting on my finder. So I have to go to menu so I can quickly move to the DSTV TP. Let me see the reading there. I go to TP list. So here in my satellite meter, my DSTV TP is stored in hotbed. So I will go to my DSTV TP. See? This is my DSTV TP. As you can see, this is the DSTV TP I'm using. So if you check the strength of the signal, you see that it is barely not in there, maybe 9, 8, 10, 14. So it is still saying the same thing. And once this one is this low, you can never, even though the quality is good, the quality talks about the rightful position of the LMB. That is, if the LMB is rightly positioned on the TP, that is when you will get a reading from the quality. But the strength talks about the wire and the connection. So this brings us to the number two thing, or the number second thing in our topic on the things that cause loss of signal. Which is cable. So how do I find out if cable is my problem or the cable is bad? So what I will have to do is to go to my dish. So guys, I might not be able to follow these things up sequentially like as I listed them, because this checking is somehow mixed together, but I will be touching each and every one of them. So if this is the LMB on my dish, for instance, and then I have to go to the dish and plug the unplug and remove the RF cable that goes to the decoder, and then put my own, a short one from the LMB to the satellite meter. And then if I can have a reading like this, as you can see, we're already having 80 something percent in the strength. So if we can have a reading like this and the quality is empty, so what this thing entails is that the LMB is good and the cable is bad. So the LMB is good, but the cable is bad. But even with this reading, we can also say that in as much as the LMB is good, but then it's not well positioned. That is why the quality of the signal is empty. But most importantly, what to note in this thing is that our cable is bad. So if we can change our cable, at least we will have this kind of reading from the inside. So guys, this brings us to the number 4th thing on my list, which is the dish position. So after changing the cable, for instance, and you still read your meter, you have something like this, where we have a good percentage of strength, and then the quality is almost empty. That means there is a shift in your dish position. Are you getting it? So all you need to do is to adjust your dish a little bit so that you can have your dish well positioned at your desired TP, so that you will have signal. So when that is done, the next thing on my list, that is after doing that, and yet you still don't have uh, a good network, all you're supposed to do, which will bring us to the number 15, is to check for what I call number 5, what I call a TP shift. This one always occur most times in FTA decoder, that is free to air decoder, that is decoder like strong. Most of the times the satellite you are tracking, they can decide to shift or change their TP. And when they change their TP and you are still using the old one, you will still be having loss of signal. So make sure you are tracking with the current TP of the satellite. Then number 16 is when satellite go off. But let me still talk about something in that TP shift. This kind of thing can happen in DSTV, for instance, DSTV decoder, for instance. Now, DSTV decoder has so many TPs. Like there are so many TPs that you can use to track DSTV decoder, and is not all of them that are comfortable, or is not all of them that works in every environment. Are you getting it? There is a TP you will use at a particular place, and it will be working well. So when you go and use that same TP in another location, it will be working very well. So you have to check out the TP. And most of the times, because these TP, they are always close. They are always close. Like when you are shifting your dish, they are not too far from each other. Most of the times the TP you are using to check at that current location might be giving you a full signal, but when you plug it to your decoder, it won't be working. So try shifting your dish a little bit to another DSTV TP to see if it will work there. Then let me talk about the number 16 on my list. This one usually happen in FT decoder. That is when a particular satellite go off. That satellite go off, or change of TP. When a particular satellite go off, most of the times when there is a loss of signal, is not always going to be that there is a shift in your disposition or your cable is bad. Try to find out also when you must have exhausted all possible options. Try to find out if that particular satellite they go off at that particular point in time, or they manage to shift or change their TP. Then finally, the number 17, when you must have exhausted all these options and your decoder is still not working, what you have to check next is your decoder setting. So most of the times this decoder setting is very important, because most of the times when the owner of the decoder, when they are having loss of signal, they might try out some options in their decoder, thereby changing the settings even without knowing that can be able to affect the signal position, the signal strength, even when every other thing is fine. Or most of the times, there are children, when you have kids in the house, they might change the decoder setting, the satellite setting from the decoder using the decoder remote. Take for instance, if we are using DSTV, and when I know I must have fixed every other thing and it's still not working, I will check the decoder setting to be sure it is fine by going to the menu. Now from the menu, I will go to setting. So when I go to setting, I can decide to restore the decoder setting and set it back should in case there is error in the setting. So when you do a reset to factory setting, your decoder will bring you, that is if you are using DSTV. For other decoders, they have a different procedure. So if you are using DSTV, yeah, if you reset, your decoder will bring you back to this installation wizard page. So what you will do here is to choose your language. If you are using English, you just press OK. So if your language is Portugal, you can select this. So mine is English. I will select English and press OK. So if you look at this, you will see the satellite we have here first is IS-20. So for African countries listed here, if your country is not there, like my country is Nigeria, is not here, I have to choose another. So it says this is E36B. So my country is compatible with this satellite. It says, if you look at the message here, it says select this satellite for the rest of Africa. That is country that is not Malawi, this, that. So the rest of Africa, the countries that is not listed here is among the country that this satellite is compatible with. So I'm choosing this. So here we have quick setting and manual setting. Let me see manual setting. Okay. The manual setting is what I should go for. If I want a quick setting, that is if this was to be an extra view decoder, then I can adjust it from that quick setting. So this is manual setting. If you check the LMB type, the LMB type here is universal, which is okay. But if I'm using a smart LMB, I can use this if I'm using a smart LMB. So if this universal is okay. So if you check, you just go to now. If my signals are okay, my wire is okay, and my connections is okay, I will have almost a full bar of the whole of this signal bar. Almost a full bar of the whole of this signal bar. They will almost get to this point. All of them, they will almost get to this point. So what I will do is to press scan, and it will scan. And after scanning, everything will be working perfectly. Thank you. And if this have actually helped you, I want you to give us a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe for more tips like this. Thank you.